Demographically, women tend to, across the board, be the ones in the household, whether they're the primary earner or not. A lot of research says that women are the ones who are handling the finances and making those decisions. So it's really important that women are educated on a variety of topics.
Today's topic is women as economic drivers with Shana Runck, Jennifer Gomez-Chavez, and Diana Rael.
Welcome to the Well Woman Show, where we interview women executives, leaders, and entrepreneurs.
And you're listening to the Well Woman Show,
where motivated women achieve fulfillment and well-being.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show.
Take time for myself by coming to things like Well Woman Drinks.
To be accepting of myself no matter what. Step away from judgment as much as possible.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show.
You're going to be in for a good ride. I don't regret anything. Everything I've ever done, I've learned from it, one way or another, good or bad.
Being a little bit selfish for yourself, put your own oxygen mask on first and then give what's left.
I'm a woman. I would prefer to tell my own story. My story, though it's very personal, is universal.
You're listening to the Well Woman Show. And now your host, Giovanna Rossi.
Hi, Giovanna Rossi here, and welcome to another episode of the Well Woman Show, where I interview women leaders, executives, and entrepreneurs about their lives and their road to becoming and being who they are today. Are you feeling burned out or finding it hard to focus on your goals? Or are you in transition? Well, you're not alone. We all need to activate our superpowers. These are the internal strengths and abilities we all already have but don't use all the time. Superpowers can be cultivated, and they include empathy, love, intuition, courage, and more. As always, this episode is brought to you by Well Woman Life, a global community of women living our best lives. Whether it's your health, relationships, your money, or making an impact in your community and the world, Well Woman Life has you covered. You've made a commitment to not settle, to use your voice, and to live your best life. Well Woman Life offers annual memberships, workshops, and retreats to support you. Check out wellwomanlife.com/Facebook to join our growing community. Now back to the show. Today's topic is women as economic drivers, and hopefully by the end of the show, you'll be inspired by the incredible work happening to support women in financial literacy and education. The Economist points out that the increase in employment of women in developed countries during the past decade has added more to the global growth than has the economic emergence of China. In the United States alone, women own nearly 8 million businesses, accounting for $1.2 trillion of our gross domestic product. But in New Mexico, nearly half of all female-headed families are living in poverty, and while 12.6% of white non-Hispanic women are living in poverty in New Mexico, almost 23% of Latina women and 28% of Native women live in poverty. So how can women in New Mexico be included in efforts to improve women's economic security? In other words, how do we address the barriers to entry for women's economic participation? Graduating high school and college, access to financial literacy and entrepreneurial resources, as well as support for working parents are a few things that come to mind. On the show today to talk about this are my guests, Shana Runck, Assistant Vice President for Community Relations at Nusenda Credit Union, and two of her community partners, Jennifer Gomez-Chavez and Diana Rael. The free giveaway today is a roadmap to financial security from Nusenda Credit Union, available at wellwomanlife.com/086show. I like this giveaway because it gives you a worksheet you can use to create your roadmap right away. I want to let you know that this year's Superpower Retreat is October 26th and 27th at Sunrise Springs Resort in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So check out wellwomanlife.com/retreat for more information. You can also continue the conversation in the Well Woman Life community group at wellwomanlife.com/Facebook. Now let's get started with the show.
So Nusenda has been very involved in the community since we began in 1936. And as a credit union, Nusenda is a cooperative, which means all of our members are also owners. We have over 160,000 member owners since we started in 1936. So for 80 years, Nusenda has been investing in New Mexico, impacting the social and economic health of our community, as well as investing in economic development, innovation, and education to build exciting future for generations to come. Financial capability is really one of the forefront efforts that Nusenda is very dedicated to in our community. We have developed a wide variety of resources for all ages, including educators and community members, really to help individuals and families improve their economic stability and mobility in the community.
And what do some of these resources look like and some of the partnerships?
At Nusenda, we really believe in integrated, meaningful, and robust partnerships because nobody can do this work alone. And so we really rely on our community partners. We have ongoing relationships with a wide variety of organizations, and that really allows us to be proactive and responsive as needs of our community partners change, as the climate in the state changes and evolves. We are very dedicated to being responsive to that. So one example is we do a lot of work with educational institutions. Our roots as a credit union are in education, so we're very dedicated to working with educators. And in 2013, through those relationships and through those conversations, we had many requests for financial capability resources. So teachers in the classroom saying, I think it's really important that I teach my class about financial literacy, about financial concepts, but there's a lot of resources out there, but maybe they lack the depth and breadth of what I need as a teacher. They also were sharing with us that the resources they were finding were not aligned with the Common Core standards that they have to teach to. So we developed a robust curriculum for high school, and we've also developed some middle school and elementary resources as well that covers a wide variety of topics. So we talk about budgeting and savings, which is very important, as well as credit. But we also talk about how to buy a house or buying your first car. A lot of those things that many of us just kind of learned as we stumbled through it the first time. So we have a wide variety of topics. One of my favorites is the employee smarts topic, which talks about looking at your paycheck, because I don't know, a lot of people were like me and they look at their first paycheck and the math didn't quite add up, right? I make this amount of money per hour and I work this many hours. What is all this tax stuff that comes out of my paycheck? So we talk a lot about that because that can be a very rude awakening sometimes when you get your first paycheck.
Okay. And for people, buying their first home and taking a loan and these examples that you gave, why is it important to focus on women? And is there a specific perspective or angle that you take when you're doing education with women?
Well, we know that demographically women tend to, across the board, be the ones in the household, whether they're the primary earner or not. A lot of research says that women are the ones who are handling the finances and making those decisions. So it's really important that women are educated on a variety of topics. Like you said, how to, buying a house, getting a mortgage is a very overwhelming experience, or it can be. So just knowing kind of what to expect and being prepared for those things. We also know that in New Mexico, there's a lot of single family households. And so women are not only the primary caregivers, but they're also the primary financial earners as well. So knowing how to make that paycheck stretch as far as possible, knowing how to set aside some important money for savings, for emergencies, as well as long-term savings for goals down the road. Just teaching individuals a lot about how to manage their finances and make our money go as far as we can.
And do you find that when you're doing the teaching that people are receptive or able to take in the information in a way that can help them? I mean, because depending on your situation, you may or may not be able to really integrate that information into your life.
Absolutely. And it's very important to us as we are going out in the community, providing financial education, that we really work with our partners and have a very good understanding of the clientele that they're working with, because people, like you said, are in various places financially in their lives. And so it's really important that we know that and that we work with people from where they are, because everybody's in a different place, and provide the tools and resources that they need at that particular time in their life.
That was Shana Runck at Nusenda Credit Union talking about her focus on financial literacy. I wanted to understand more of what the partners she referred to are doing, so I asked Diana Rael at Mana de Albuquerque what she's doing to support women and girls in the areas of financial literacy and economic security. And in particular, we talk about the key to success for young girls in her program.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to tell you about it. Well, Mana de Albuquerque has been in our community since 1984, and we're a chapter of a national Latina organization. So it's all about women, and we focus on Latina leadership through leadership development, community service, and advocacy. Nusenda has been a partner with us since about, I would say 2014, and they're a great partner. One of the things they help us focus on is the literacy development piece, especially for not only our Hermanitas, our youth leadership development program, but also for our adult women, which is kind of an umbrella, which we call Avanzamos leadership. So Nusenda is involved in helping us promote financial literacy for Latinas and also for our youth, our girls. Our hermanitas is what we call our girls.
Hermanitas, of course, means little sisters in Spanish. And tell me about the hermanitas and why is it so important for them to have role models and women and older girls to look up to?
So our hermanitas in our program are girls from the ages of 11 through 17. And we focus, our program actually is a national curriculum that is implemented in chapters across the country. And so in Albuquerque, it's probably been in place since about 2003, 2004. And we focus on healthy lifestyle, making sound choices, encouraging our girls to achieve their goals, and meaning, graduate from high school and go on to college. So
can I just ask you, when you say supporting them to achieve their goals, which are around finishing school and going to college, are those goals that they state that they have, or are those the goals they have to have in order to get into the program?
They don't have to have, there's no prerequisites to get into the program, but when our national organization looked at, what leads to being a successful woman, hands down, education is the key. It's the key out of poverty. It's the key to success. So that's one of the components we emphasize with our girls. And I'm happy to tell you that over the years, our success rate has been in the 99th percentile of our girls graduating from high school and going on to college. Last night I was at a meeting where 5 of our former hermanitas now in college have returned and raised their hand and said, we want to be part of leading the workshops for the hermanitas, this coming year. So it's exciting to see that come, to full fruition with our girls.
So with a 99% success rate, that's amazing, first of all. What does it take to get to that 99%? And are there times where you have to work with individual girls to really keep them on track?
Okay, so what does it take? Well, I think consistency, number one, consistency in the program and what we do, our involvement with the girls, making sure that they have a safe place to come to, adult women that they can trust. Involvement with their parents is critical. So we invite the parents to come to our kickoff meetings and to several other workshops that we put on during the year. And also introducing them and helping them form relationships through a mentor process with, our adult women members who we call madrinas. So through them, they're exposed to opportunities, things that maybe perhaps they'd never thought of before as far as career opportunities, being able to, consider, maybe I might want to try something different instead of, maybe I was going to go to school to do this and now maybe I might want to look at something else. Here in Albuquerque, we have a great opportunity, especially in the science and, the STEM technology arena. And one of the things that we're hearing, especially from the larger employers and the employers in that area, is that there's not enough women in that field. So one of the things we try to do often is expose the girls to STEM education, STEM careers, that sort of thing. Yeah. And mathematics is a key piece too.
Okay. And Diana, I just am floored by the 99% success rate. How many girls are we talking about in the program?
Okay. Most chapters vary from place to place. In some of your larger chapters, you can have hundreds of girls in the program. In our program, we've stayed right around 25 to 30 girls, simply because of the resources available to be able to work with that many. This year, we expect to double that to 50 girls this year. Yeah.
I asked Diana about the girls who go through her program, and she told me about one of her graduates, Diva Miramontes.
One of the components of our organization is we also have a scholarship fund. So that is an area where we recruit, resources and finances to support our fund. All of our hermanitas, of course, attend the financial literacy part of our program, and that's the part that Nusenda does their presentation for us. They conduct the workshop. One girl in particular, which was, I think, actually one of their scholarship, because we name one of our scholarships the Nusenda Community Rewards Scholarship after them. I think that one is, her last name is Miramontes. There's two girls, Diva and Karina. Believe it's Diva, who was a Nusenda scholarship recipient, a couple of years ago. She recently was awarded a full ride scholarship to a university in Texas, over $200,000. And she's an incredible young lady. She is on the mayor's council, youth council. Her grades are phenomenal, and she's just an outstanding and outgoing young lady, as her sisters are as well. But she's the one that comes to mind because of the scholarship she received from Nusenda, number one, and number two, how she was able to, through her community service involvement, was selected for such a great scholarship, which, for kids nowadays, that's, it's a godsend. I mean, with the amount of debt that they can get into, trying to achieve their educational goals, to get a scholarship like that and have funding like that is really important. It's not only about our girls, but also our women too. We advocate on behalf of Latinas. I don't know if you know this, but Latina women are among the poorest of the poor. When you look at earning power, we earn probably less than any other group, less than white women, less than black women. It's somewhere around 64 cents on the dollar. And when I joined MANA back in 1996, it wasn't much better. It was right around there, and we haven't made much progress in that regard. So, yeah, we have work to do. From a financial literacy standpoint, there's a big need in that area. So, all you women out there in New Mexico that have expertise in saving money and making money and learning how to manage, we need your help, and we hope you join.
Next, I talked to Jennifer Gomez-Chavez at the University of New Mexico about what they do to support women to succeed in college and how they address the number one barrier to women's success in college, including emergency funding, one-on-one coaching, financial literacy classes, and loan forgiveness.
So my role at the University of New Mexico has been has encompassed looking at strategies to help students succeed. And as we look across higher ed institutions, as we look at enrollment, we see that women are attending universities at a higher rate. And so our goal here at the university is to make sure that all of our students have access and success toward completing a degree. And as you well know, that once our students have a degree, then they have a higher opportunity to gain full employment, to have opportunities to serve in different capacities, which then they're able to contribute back to our economy here in our city, in our state, and to the nation. And so we felt that we needed to look at the different barriers that our students were having. And so we identified that the number one barrier for that keep our students from continuing on their path toward degree completion is finances. And so together with Nusenda Credit Union and the University of New Mexico, we decided that it was important to launch a strategy to help those students who were stopping out or dropping out because maybe they had a financial emergency that kind of led them in a difficult path toward completing their degree. And so we developed Powering Success Coaching, which is an initiative to provide emergency funding to students who face a financial challenge. And so our goal is to keep students on track. And as you know, many women are mothers, are maybe not mothers, but, you know, they're contributing to their family as a family member. We know in New Mexico, we're one of the poorest states. And so a lot of students that we encounter are actually working to contribute toward their family financial stability. And so this Powering Success Coaching really allows the students to get financial support so that they stay on track.
Okay, so that's interesting. The number one barrier to completion was financial. And so it's always amazing to me that one incident in someone's life can completely derail them from their track that they're on. So whether it was, I mean, I don't even know what the issues probably were, but whatever the emergency was, whether it was health or losing a job or losing a spouse or whatever, one thing can really derail, you know, someone from their financial plan and their ability to pursue what it is that they were pursuing. Did you find that, like, what were the financial issues that people were having?
So some of the issues that we see are exactly those that you have pointed out. Divorce is a big issue that we often see.
So let me just interrupt you. Sorry. So divorce, that's because that's pretty common. And so presumably in that situation, the woman is in school, gets divorced, no longer has, access maybe to her husband's health insurance, no longer has so many more financial obligations. And so she says, well, I'll just quit school so I can focus. So your program says, no, don't quit school. Come and see us.
Yes. What we try to help is provide that emergency financial fund to allow students to stay in school and stay on track. We often find that any student who either drops out or stops out, it's less likely for them to come back. So our goal is really to provide that support so that they can continue. And you're right. I mean, other, illnesses, when it comes to divorce, for example, we had a female student who was being abused, which then she got divorced. And so what we provide is also not just the funding, but we provide coaching. So we have an individual, her name is Bernadette Hardy, who works one-on-one with any student who applies for this emergency funding. And she's available to help those students connect to resources, checks on their grades, really provide that personalized support that students need so that they understand that they're not going through these challenges alone.
So anyone who applies can be accepted? Or is it like a review and you have to be selected?
So there is an application process and it's reviewed, and if accepted, then there's certain requirements students have to meet, such as attending financial literacy workshops, ensuring that they're meeting with their coach. And so those are the requirements. But the wonderful thing about this partnership is that if students start paying their loans back, which is, the minimal amount is very, very small. Students, and if they graduate, then the loan is forgiven. So again, trying to empower students to stay on track, supporting them, but also incentivizing them at the end that if they earn their degree, then the loan will be forgiven.
Jennifer, what would you like to say to women who may be listening, who either are in a situation where they need support or they know someone who might need that kind of support? What would you say to them?
Well, to all the women out there, just know that there are so many programs and services and individuals that want to help you, and that you're not alone. No matter what your struggle is, no matter what your dreams are, there are numerous programs and individuals that are willing and ready to help. And so I would say to connect. If you don't feel comfortable connecting to somebody that's at the university or, but connect with your friends and family. A lot of times they know other people who they can connect you to. Sometimes I know that, we're either embarrassed or we don't want to seem that we're weak. So sometimes we don't want to ask for that help, but know that, that oftentimes many of us have faced different challenges, and just speaking up, reaching out is powerful, and that women can help women. And even we have a lot of males who are helping women. So just reach out and know that, that you can do it with support. And we have a wonderful community here, not just at the university, but throughout this state with wonderful community organizations.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jennifer Gomez-Chavez, for being on the program today.
Thank you.
That's it for our show today. Remember, if you need support to live your Well Woman life, head over to wellwomanlife.com/Facebook to join us. Our monthly live event, Well Woman Drinks, brings women together to share our successes and challenges as women, leaders, moms, aunts, sisters, and all the other roles we carry. If you'd like to attend a Well Woman Drinks near you, or if there isn't one in your city yet and you'd like to start one, email info@wellwomanlife.com. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment and subscribe in iTunes and leave a review. This helps raise visibility, which is super helpful when it comes to producing the show every week. For feedback, comments, or just to let me know you were listening today, find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram @WellWomanLife. I'm Giovanna Rossi for The Well Woman Show. Until next time, have a super powerful week.